So the next show you would work on would be Follies, is that right?
Well, see, that's the thing. It was very different in those days. I mean, I remember when Hal Prince came to see the first tryout of Follies, the off-Broadway tryout of Follies. He enjoyed the show, but he came up to me at the end of the show and said, "Steven, I gotta show you something." So I said, "Sure, Hal, what is it?" And he opened up a briefcase he had with him, and inside it was a gigantic flaming sword.
So did he brandish the sword?
He brandished the sword, yes, and he kind of held it aloft and sort of cast a spell on me. So Hal Prince was a wizard. He was a warlock, or at least that's what I thought at the time, as I'd seen a few warlocks and elves and what have you. This was in the early 70s, so we didn't really think it was a big deal. But what was that like? I mean, to have someone waving a flaming sword at you. Well, at first I thought he was trying to vanquish me, but pretty soon I realized that he wanted me to go on an epic quest. What was the nature of this quest? Of course, he started to get pretty animated. He started talking about fulfilling the ancient prophecy, slaying the evil black wizard, stuff like that. I had to stop him. I said, Hal, I can't go on a quest right now. I have tryouts and rewrites to get through. I'm not your guy. I bet he was pretty disappointed. Oh yeah, he was tremendously disappointed. So much so, in fact, that he called me a jerk, and then he conjured a magical portal and pushed me into it and banished me to the Forgotten Fields. Then he placed a curse on my lands. It was just what it was like. Off-Broadway shows almost never made it to Broadway, and he knew that. Did you ever return from the Forgotten Fields of yore? Oh, that was no problem. I just got a bus back to New York, and that was that. The funny thing is, and this is something I learned much later from Jim Goldman, turns out later that night, Hal had accidentally cast a spell on himself and he turned himself into a cat. Really? Yes. He transformed into a cat? Well, at first it was a cat, then an elephant, then a goose. Finally he turned into a horse, and I remember when I found that out I thought, gee, he really was a powerful warlock.